Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. It's a fun way to enjoy the beauty of the Pacific Northwest and bring it back home with you. Here to share more, we welcome the author of A Rockhound's Guide to Oregon and Washington, Alison Jean Cole. Thanks so much for being here.
I'm delighted.
You brought us some beautiful things to look at today as well.
These are all materials that I found while I was researching my new book, A Rockhound's Guide to Oregon and Washington.
That's so cool. So all semi-local here.
Yeah, this is a tiny smattering of Pacific Northwest geology that we have in front of us.
That's amazing because I see all different colors and textures. So let's start with some basics of if somebody's wanting to go out for the first time and thinking they're going to find a treasure somewhere. You've got some good tips like don't go looking for something specific, let a rock find you.
Yeah, let the rock find you. I think the most important thing is to do a little research about where you're going. The first question is rock collecting allowed?
Oh, very good.
That's really important. And then the next is be open to what you could possibly find rather than having a narrow vision about what you're trying to seek.
And certain places could be easier for us or maybe more family friendly that you'll likely to find something interesting, maybe a little bit quicker without as much hunting.
Absolutely. The most family-friendly places to go are beaches and rivers.
Okay.
Sandy beaches are going to give you sand. Yes. So you really want to look for rocky beaches, beaches maybe where like a creek is dumping out onto the beach and dropping its load of rocks. Those are wonderful places to intercept them. Rivers are great as well. I think for families a big thing to remember about rivers is slippery rocks. So watch your little ones.
Yes.
Bring your hiking poles for balance.
Oh, good idea.
Take it easy out there.
Take it easy for sure. Can you share, do you have any favorites of this group or is that a mean question to ask you?
They're all favorites. Each one of them has a unique story, but I'll pick out some ones that maybe have a particularly interesting story. This here, there's a wee snail fossil in this rock. If you can see it, I'll turn it.
Yes. Oh, I see the little curly twirly thing happening there.
And then over here, we have a clam that's in the rock.
A clam is in there.
So these are coming out of the Astoria Formation on the Oregon coast.
Oh, okay.
These are shells that are washing up on the beach, but they're 25 million years old.
Wow.
So when we go to the beach, we think of, looking for rocks and shells on the beach, and a lot of those shells are from today. But these shells are from several worlds ago.
Wow.
A very different world and a very different time.
That's so fascinating.
And they scatter the beaches.
Sure.
Yeah.
What are some things you should bring with you? Like you mentioned, just hiking poles. That's a great place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. You actually don't need many tools for rock hounding. A lot of people think they need a big, hard plastic bucket. I say leave it at home. Okay. Bring a strong tote or a little backpack or just have some nice pockets, You don't need to collect that much. What are you going to do with the rock after all?
Right. Yeah, now that you say that, I'm not going to have like 8 pounds of stuff to carry back with me. That wasn't the plan.
Yeah, and usually if you are the person that's carrying several pounds back with you, you'll have a spouse that's dreading it the whole time. So.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Don't let these rocks be destined to live the rest of their life in a bucket in your garage.
Oh, sure.
Like put it on your little windowsill display or in your little trinket box or gift it or display it or make something from it.
That's a great way to think about it while you're in the moment. This is wonderful, this is beautiful, I'm having an experience now, but does this rock have somewhere to live a happy life if I want to bring it home with me?
Right, this rock sleeps every night under the stars and it watches the passing of seasons. Are you going to offer it something better than that?
That's pretty cool. Well, I want to ask you about this jewelry over here. So is this from things that you found?
Yeah, so these are all made from rocks that I've collected myself.
Wow.
So there's some earrings here. We have agate and jasper earrings.
Beautiful.
Those are really common materials in the Northwest. A bolo tie made out of some Northwest material.
Awesome.
And this ring is a piece of calcite that actually has some antique glass covering it to protect the fragile stone.
That's quite stunning. Are any of these particularly unusual or unique that you've come across?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a very famous Oregon material. These tiny little gemstones here are Oregon sunstones. And they're a variety of feldspar crystal that are found only in very tiny pockets of lava flows in southeastern Oregon. So these sunstones can be dug up outside of a tiny ranching town called Plush. And there's a free public collection area set aside.
Cool.
It's a really awesome trip for the family.
Which brings us back to, you've got to kind of do your research before you head out. You don't want to be collecting in places where you're not really allowed to be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So a big no is private land. You've got to stay off of people's private property unless you have permission to be there.
Okay.
And then if you're on public land, all of our public lands are overseen by several different agencies. And they each have different rules.
Okay.
It can be a little bit dizzying to find them out, but if you buy my new book, you can learn about all of those different rules.
That is so helpful, because we all want to follow the rules.
Absolutely, and I've worked really, really hard to also dispel some rockhounding rule mysteries.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've spent a lot of time talking to the people that oversee our public lands, and we got down to the actual nuts and bolts of what the collecting rules are.
That's so great. Now, are there rules about fossils specifically?
Absolutely, fossils, big time rules. So all vertebrate fossils, meaning a fossil from an animal that had a backbone.
Okay.
Those you cannot collect under any circumstance except one.
Okay.
However, fossil leaves, like I have right here,
okay.
or fossil wood, petrified wood, you're always welcome to collect these on public lands within certain limits.
Okay.
On the Oregon coast, you can collect fossil bones. And these are coming from marine mammals out of this Astoria formation with the clams and snails. So these are bones of things like fossil whales, fossil sea otters, something called an oyster bear, which is like a proto-sea lion kind of creature.
Oh, wow.
The rules on the Oregon coast are if you find a cobble that can fit in a 5-gallon bucket, you're allowed to take it.
Wow.
And if there's a fossil bone inside, you're legally allowed to keep it.
Oh, nice.
So this is a very special exception to the no vertebrate fossil collecting rules.
That's so interesting. Okay, there's lots to know, but what a great adventure to have.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Delighted
this is
to
so
be
fun.
here.
Okay, Alison has a book event tonight at 7 o'clock. It's at Powell's on West Burnside. We'll have all the details for you on our website. The book, again, is A Rockhound's Guide to Oregon and Washington. For more information, just head to katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.